deal with these players that had started creeping out. It was that pressure, I think, that Freeing generated by killing the lurker and then disappearing on the map that started pulling NRG every which way.
Yeah, maybe that forces the scale into spawn because they feel like they have a lot of threat behind them. Yeah. They double swing outside of that smoke and then, yeah, immediately get dropped.
And I think winning that pistol erases a lot of the concerns I had for DRX on this half. Getting this, converting here, getting up to 10, then you just need a few good ult rounds to carry it through.
Cheeky little smoke, but Flashback playing ahead of it with the judge means there's no real joy on the other side of it. So NRG will decide that they want to test the waters B. They have a trip that they're going to have to navigate. Maybe they can get away with one. Thrifties have been so prevalent in this tournament.
Yes, they have. And I like this hold from DRX right now. Even bringing a second player over onto the B site. Yeah. They just droned down A long as well, so they know there's no hit coming on that side of the map anytime soon. They've got Cypher Util comfortably guarding their C.
They're just freezing on the other side of the smoke. The trip gets cleared and immediately utility through.
Look at Freeing step up into that cage. I absolutely love it.
Ethan's gotten some high ground. He's gone undetected, but a classic into the face of a Bulldog like that is tough. A flawless round for DRX as they get to 10.
I love seeing that little movement out of the Cypher. Taking the moment to break the one-way that had been put down on top of the site there. Use his own cage to do that. As a matter of fact, gets up into it.
Jump scare, bro.
Wasn't expecting the Cypher there, was he?
And so remember here, take a quick look at the timeline and remember how the first half started for DRX. Able to win the pistol, they win the anti-eco, and then they convert the bonus. And that really set off the chain of events that has us to this point.
Hello.
DRX once again in a spot to try to do it again. And they're pushing for blood. Aggressive down C-Long. Flashback gets the opener. They continue to crunch in. But Scuba punches back.
Yeah, 1 for 1 is good enough for NRG to try and equalize now. They can take a breath, filter out, and make sure that no more players have stepped up into the empty space. But you can see down on A short, that's exactly what Freeing's done on his Cypher.
Deny some of that space. NRG will have to do with him if they decide to go back that way. But for now, attention towards C.
I believe Flashback was able to pick up the Vandal off of Som's body, or Mata's body rather, on the way out. It'll be the one bright light for DRX. That in this position that Freeing's found himself in.
Generally, you look at this and you go, this is a one and done, but Champs is a different beast. One kill found, drops the cage, tries to cover, can't find any more.
So Bane is going to be able to slip back into the site. Now he needs one. Flashback's going to need one. Everyone needs one.
He gets two! As Bane gets both! Scuba tries to get them back into the round, get back into the action, but it's another mess.
These bonuses just keep on working for DRX. Bane just toying with him on the off angle. Ah! And that just takes NRG out of the game. Bonkar's gonna go ahead and smash the timeout button. The second time he's called a timeout after round 3.
Now, we have long talked about NRG struggles on the attacking side, and we saw their ridiculous comeback on Abyss on the attacking side. But Haven's a bit different. Haven doesn't necessarily play the same way. We can chalk up the fact that they were able to pull that comeback off to the fact that Abyss is very attack-sided, but
sure.
I mean, that said, they aren't strangers to a deficit like this.
Yeah, I mean,
NRG time out.
side, I'm pretty sure the approach has been the same. Play it super high pace, super high tempo, and don't let NRG get a breath.
I mean, it's the same thing right there. Doesn't even have to press it again to go back. He's fine to get the kill and run out anyways.
And if they commit into this A hit, which it seems like will be the case, they have 3 members of the defense here.
I mean, it's just an execution.
I don't know how NRG make adjustments here. DRX looks so good on both sides of the ball.
You don't really have the time to make the adjustments either, unless Sum and Brock can do something.
A high-low like this, yeah, you get your one, but double, triple face. What are you gonna do?
Die to Freeing's lurk again. He's got Sum fully boxed in here. Nowhere left to go but forward.
Snappy on 1, 3 on the round, and yeah, it gets that pit closer and closer, but the problem is they're running out of time. DRX are on map point.
And you know, NRG would be able to, you know, brush a map like this off. They've got a lot to look forward to. Corrode and Lotus, their best maps coming up.
Sure.
But the fashion in which DRX are just tearing them apart here, they start sowing the seeds of doubt in the back of NRG's minds.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily inspire confidence on that side of the stage. Meanwhile, for DRX, I mean, they look like world beaters right now.
Absolutely. Just riding that momentum from their opening series versus TL. Again, some bullets down into mid early on. Okay.
That's with the spike. Cancel out, so they get the Waylay ult out, sure.
Yeah, and we heard the Omen ult canceled, I assume. Actually, DRX are still going back into their spawn to clear, just to be safe.
Right. Sure, better the double, you know, yeah.
But now that they've fully cleared that away, they're like, okay, and now what? NRG haven't seized any of these gaps that they've left by going back to re-clear their own spawn. Yeah, it's a pretty garbage drone from Bane sends that out from A-Link to make sure no one got onto the site, but at the end of the day, DRX are still in a great spot.
This trip is still up. Utility has not cleared it. Clement's gonna try to push the pace again, but Ethan, feeling the threat, off the spike, takes the fight, but there's more, there's a layer to it. Science behind it, and DRX again, beautiful performance.
That spike sitting out stranded on the B site. DRX have 3 players here holding it with an iron grip.
With confidence and conviction, DRX continue to push the pace, continue to take the fight to NRG, and every single time they seem to win it out. As close to perfect as you can get. A complete stomp on their map pick, 13-4 for DRX.
The kings of groups, DRX. They have never failed to make it out. And, well, if they keep playing like that.
I can't imagine that changing. We'll see if Corrode has a
next match.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Now that I'm a mom, things are different. Verizon's different too. They let everyone in my family choose different plans. We get what we want and we save money. Love that.
the Yuan dynasty. Could it be from Ku?
이제 첫 번째 헤이븐에서 승리가 익숙한 조합, 젠지의 조합을
Khan's lost fleet?
like you're the dumbass who dropped it from the top of the fucking tower. Just...
Happened while, yeah, the Yoru's a little bit of a change. That pace at which DRX were able to play on their execs, on their attacking side, was simply overwhelming. And I think it'll be important for NRG to seize the reins themselves.
Yeah, and that's exactly where they're going to be starting. That knife tagging 3 right at the beginning, but they turn away and turn their attention A.
Yeah, a lot of the time you'll see Som play in this position, Paranoia ready to go just to stall out and allow Mata to shift in from Link.
Oh, I mean, women can just fully TP in and then, or excuse me, dash in and then TP out. It doesn't really matter what utility hits them.
Yeah,
but
I
they
suppose.
fill in behind it.
Now up into elbow as well, but NRG have 3 players here. It's going to be very hard to make forward progress for DRX.
We say that.
I mean, they've got a flash on the Yoru.
We say that.
That's it.
There's that flash. And there's the snap onto Brock. Flashback, picking up right where he left off.
And now the 2 NRG members slip away from the site, play inside their own smoke. The map's also gone quiet. This is a little concern for NRG. Now the fights start coming online. NRG back into the thick of it, but DRX just cut them down. One by one they go. Only Ethan to try and stop it, but it's not going to happen.
Scuba's going to show up real late into this 1v3, and yeah, they're weak. And Scuba's been good. But he's really going to have to show up here. It doesn't matter how good you are domestically. International stages are where you make a name for yourself. And Scuba has been thrust into the spotlight now. Spike ticks away, and Scuba has to play this so carefully, so quietly. No challenge given. No free fight afforded. Fully denying any advantage they might be able to pull. And so on the tap, he finds one. That's freeing, one of the weaker ones, but Flashback gets his 3, and that's the pistol. That's 3 pistols in a row for TRX, if I'm not mistaken.
It absolutely is. Not just that, it was both, conversions of the anti-eco and the bonus back on Haven. So we're going to be looking at that. I think you see here just a masterclass out of Flashback. It's only him with a piece of utility to actually reach into the A site.
We don't usually win pistols, who cares?
He was able to play out Brock behind the box, but yeah.
I mean, that's true.
I
but
care.
Also,
let's work on that, I think.
I think NRG fans would like it if they started to win a couple, I don't know.
Yeah, that might simplify the games. That might stop them from having to make the silly comebacks.
Pacey, the flash over the top. They're fully running it down A. You've got a little bit of trouble. Freeing will get one, but fall away.
Unfortunately, it's a FPX buy for DRX, so nothing for NRG to be able to try and reclaim, unless they're able to get Flashback here, but he can just teleport across the other side. Yoru things.
Yeah, fine safe pass to shoot. Scuba will be up close. Just a classic, though. I think once again, DRX have shown that they can make these teams on the other side of the stage look incredibly uncomfortable.
Yeah. And I also think that they don't really have to tell NRG any plan in this second round. DRX have plenty of tape up against NRG, right? NRG are 5-0 on this map.
Right.
They played a lot of rounds. DRX have never played this comp for NRG to be able to download it. They're playing single duelist back in Stage 2 playoffs. And so NRG going for a bit of a rundown round here means that they can't even try to analyze and break down what DRX's approach is going to be, because they just kind of full sent it and blew up the round from the get-go.
Yeah, nothing really to learn there. And so DRX will get their second, and once again, NRG fans, cover your ears for a second, because we have to go back into a couple of hours ago, and we need to go back into the history of DRX converting the bonus both halves on Haven. They're here once more.
NRG have to be able to deal on this round. And for me, I always want to look at Brock's Odin. NRG really made a name for themselves with the complete overuse of the Odin on Corrode and Lotus.
Right, the Broden, some might say.
I mean, Brock is always making sure he can buy that, even if it means... And my question is whether or not Flashback is going to be able to pop the ultimate on this round. Do you actually send that down in numbers to try and convert yet another bonus?
Yeah, I mean, round 3, you've got it early.
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, you would have loved to see NRG peek forward for a pick, but here he goes.
The dimensional drift will pave the way, or at least get a little bit of info.
And they all dodged the knife.
But there are two here, and they know exactly where they are. Women behind enemy lines. TP's back away. And Flashback once again nipping at his heels, looking to take the fight. And it's a disaster once more for NRG. Psalm the last standing.
Spike planted.
They crumble.
Flashback has silenced NRG in these opening 3 rounds. Completely devastating this site, popping the old down in numbers. There's not a round left for Psalm to play.
No. The bonus again.
And this is where the memories of Haven starts to surface once more. You know, you could have written off Haven and said, okay, it's DRX's map pick. We've got our 2 best in the pool coming up for NRG. But now as things start going horribly wrong on your defensive side of all things, those doubts are right at the fore.
I don't think they know where Psalm is, but he's not even going to take that swing. Just hang on to that rifle and carry it into the next round. We'll take a look at this one more time. This was off the back of an opener too, but this double dive is just...
I mean, the utility didn't even crush NRG. It was just Flashback's flash.
Yeah.
That's it. There was a lot sent that way. There was a paranoia, but it didn't hit them. He wasn't playing off of that. It looked a lot more complicated than it actually was. Every single round has just been Flashback sending one flash and winning it.
Time to jump.
7-1 for the duelist, for DRX. Really getting away with whatever he wants, whatever DRX wants, to be honest.
Now the thing is, with NRG going for light armors in the last round and having max loss bonus, losing 3 rounds in a row, they still have a buy on this. So it's not as devastating as it was back for them on Haven when they were forced to save here.
Yes. If this one goes sideways, though, might be telling a different tale. And DRX again continue this jarring, this disorienting change of pace.
And yet NRG can sit relatively comfortable knowing they have forward information in A main. Yes, mid is going to be a little bit light, but they're okay with that. And even if DRX try to come back into B, well, I was going to say they have the knife on Ethan to slow it down. Now that is not an option, and this pop could rip them apart.
Scuba doesn't have a spit. There's a flash, and there's the wall. And again, it's the double dash. It's again, Flashback right behind him. Again, an opener for DRX. Brock tries to do his best, but he's just an S-domino to fall.
30 seconds left.
NRG had absolutely nothing to slow down that hit. That pulling, that when Hyunmin goes into the site, just diving into the center there, all of a sudden everyone at NRG is turning to deal with him. And that's exactly when Flashback is coming in, popping them, ruining their hold. This is an NRG without answers.
I mean, a change of scenery, a different map, but it feels to me like the approach for DRX is incredibly similar. And it's the same problem that NRG are going to have to solve. And Yinsu was talking about it on the desk. Bonkar said, we didn't know what to do with that comp.
Yeah.
We didn't know how to deal with it. It doesn't look like they do here either.
Yeah, might be time to course correct, readjust with a timeout, because NRG, one of the weaknesses with their comp is they don't have that typical Sentinel utility. Their B site is weak, and teams in Americas have tried to exploit this, limited to success. But like you can see right here, apart from a Viper wall, and sometimes that spit, as you call it, coming down, there's very little stall, and both a Yoru teleporting across and a Waylay jumping over it can ignore that Viper utility. The only honest piece of utility you have to stop that hit from coming in is the KO knife. So Ethan needs to stop using that, I think, for information, to use that to stall out hits.
Yeah. Or what, just start ignoring the Waylay, dashing onto the site, because you know the real threat is the Yoru behind you?
Yeah, except
I mean,
the one time you ignore Waylay
right,
is when Hyunmin's going to sit in there and punish you for it.
Right.
I think another idea for NRG, like we saw in the last round with the step into A main from Mata, could be take forward space. You see B main right now, they've got 2 players creeping forward. Now, this isn't going to matter in this round where NRG have 2 guns and DRX are headed towards A, but these are the types of ideas you can start weaving in there to disrupt DRX.
That was one of the guns. Mata had a rifle. NRG, look, they've flatlined. No signs of life. Who's the spark? It's not Scuba either. As DRX, particularly women, just continues to push forward. Just continues, just body bags, toe tags him, and he just does whatever he wants.
It's just wild watching this. You know, we come where we've watched NRG play this map so many times in Americas. Usually they're the squad that's doing what DRX are doing right now. Just knocking you sideways. And, well, now freeing, playing with his food right behind him. Could take two to finish it off with a flawless round.
A shell of the team we saw the first week. Meanwhile, DRX putting the rest of the field on notice.
The way I see it, Doug,
Yeah.
I think NRG have really three main options they can play with coming into these future rounds.
Okay.
Bonker is going to be calling a timeout, trying to adjust here. And two of them I've talked about. I think, A, you can try to take that forward fight in mains, set up there so that the scrap is going to be in the main where you're not so concerned about that set piece of a waylay diving above you and that teleport in behind. The second one is you play on sites, but Ethan has to be way more mindful of when his knife is up and using that to interrupt the hit, and you've got to have bodies behind that to fight. And the other one is, and this is the Hail Mary, you need to try and start blowing up the middle of the map, threatening on flanks. You give them the sight, but you make the round state so chaotic that it sort of forces DRX to keep fighting forward, and in that chaos try to win.
And which is kind of what they were doing on Haven, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, they fully reverted to this retake approach.
Down the long, those rounds did go well for NRG,
Sure.
so
And so what is the answer for the number 2 seed from the Americas region? DRX just had to use a dog to clear, scared of the early aggression B main,
well,
like
there
you were
was,
suggesting.
there was even a flash tossed over the top of B there into main. So NRG are showing a lot of force towards the B main side. They're not actually in there, but it's done enough to push DRX the other way. Although, that being said, that doesn't really change the outcome of events for NRG. DRX have been very successful on these A-pops anyways.
And so they freeze, they cut noise, they gather up, and then they just explode out onto the site. That seems like that'll be approach for DRX here.
Yeah, as this split comes into A, I wonder if it's going to be difficult for Mata to quickly pinch into A.
Only 2 on site. The dart's not going to do a ton. They try to cancel out on the other side.
Bane
gets a little bit, but Bane gets more. And now they can call off the side if they want to rotate away. It's just going to be on Som.
Yeah, Som, who's tucked over into the corner on the left side here. Now, Bane is low HP, but he's going to be the bait for DRX. Som needs 2 here to give NRG a chance.
There's his 1. How much more can he do? 2, 3! And all of a sudden, they're up in numbers. Women should be able to get the spike down, though. And now left in a 1v2. He has been a demon. But this time, he falls. NRG, they get on the board.
That is just a Som round there through and through for NRG.
Yep.
They were outplayed through the round.
Revealing area.
Som's dealing with flashes from his teammates too. It's a little bit funny, but I mean, apart from this spam kill that Brock had, it's just Som. Because you have to remember, Bane was left sitting in mid. He killed 2 players that were rotating over for NRG. NRG were hoping to play for mid control to fast flood into A, but between the Viper Wall and the location Bane was in, that was very difficult.
And so an exhale as NRG get on the board. We saw the problems with the Odin. Ethan's got his ult here, light armor on everyone. And DRX not playing fast. Same smoke as we talked about in the previous round, though, that aggressive B main smoke.
Yep. Trying to step up into mid behind the knife, trying to step up behind the smoke in B main, or at least threaten it. That said, this time DRX are positioned to try and re-clear into B main, and figure out exactly how NRG have been holding it. I mean, it's wild that NRG have committed yet another smoke into main.
But, I mean, I look at those two smokes alone, and that tells me that the approach on the other side of the timeout was to deny space.
Yeah. And ultimately, over on the A side of the map, you don't need those Omen smokes when you can just toss up a Viper wall of your own.
Third Omen smoke, B main.
And now the reclear will come. But you have to keep in mind, Hyunmin and Bane both with the ultimates. They can overwhelm the site, so the positions of NRG are not to really fight it out here. Instead, it's to play back into heaven and then try to retake with Ethan's own ult.
Assuming he stays alive, Mata has to keep him up. Just waiting on the other side of the wall. It's going to be a quick draw. It goes down. Mata spots his shoulders, fights into the swing, gets the best of flashback, gets freeing too. Now the ult hits out onto the site. The paranoia should buy a little bit of time. The defenses of NRG looking to stand strong, looking to hold.
And look at this, Doug. Mata quickly on the flank through mid with only 12 seconds left on the clock. NRG are moving in.
Flash over the top. DRX through, Mata with 3 on the round, make that 4. Looking for the ace, and Mata delivers.
Welcome to the big stage, Mata. Smile on his face.
30 seconds left.
He is no stranger to the ace. 10 domestically
10 seconds left.
in his first year in Americas.
Remaining.
And now here, just thriving in the chaos.
That's another one. That's another one.
He's just racking them up, bands on bands.
Fast A for DRX here. Little utility over top, the eye cleared out. The wall is there.
Yeah, I think
And
we're gonna,
so is Mata.
I think we're gonna eventually end up seeing Mako enter the back lines with his ultimate. Comboed with the Nightfall, that can be extremely disruptive. Once you're denied the audio, you have no idea where that Omen goes. You don't even know he ulted.
So with 3 here, it looks like they just picked up the orb and rotated away.
Yeah, now they've got the Your ult as well.
And freeing's one off of the pit.
Yeah, DRX can just do a bit of bullying here. Have higher tempo on those ults than NRG, who are 1 and 2 off of Brock and Scuba respectively. But they've got a good 3 hold here on NRG's side.
In the face of these ults, though, that's a different beast. DRX continue to push NRG to spots where they have to respond.
Typically, Hyunmin's been diving to the left side here into Yard. That's where Mata's going to be playing. We'll see if he can take the 1v1 against the other Waylay.
Flashback, taking all of this space and elbow, getting all the info that it possibly can, and there's Winman not far off. You mentioned the Nightfall. It's actually a TP coming through from Sam.
30 seconds
As Mata
left.
waits for the challenge, waits for the swing. TP proc, the fight's there, and it's Flashback who comes out on top. Scuba's gonna try to do a bit of the same on the other side of the smoke. Double face on the other side of it. Patiently waiting, they swing, they get his. But Brock with the Odin also crumbles. Gets us one, and now the ult pop. 10 seconds left, the spike still goes down. This is a dangerous spot. Manages to stay alive. With the Odin, what can he do to take this back? One of the newest additions to the team, again, has to play savior for NRG. And DRX have been so airtight, so rock steady. Brock creeping forward, looking for a fight. He will slowly inch his way up. A tap of the spike. That eye's not going to tag him. Brock's going to stick it. Oh, he had a shot. Gets down to 1v1. Freeing's on the challenge, and it was a tap at just the wrong time.
Brock gets caught on the most brutal timing of all time. And again, it's just DRX carving up this A site. Bane just lethal with it. 3 kills
Player standing.
on the approach from Yard. Steady 2 in the post plant. The actual site holds for NRG continue to just be paper. DRX. And the only real response from NRG has been threatening B main over and over again. And I mean, DRX are like, okay, sure, we'll just keep going A because he can't hold that side of the map.
Mata's up really early with an op. Has the TP procced. Jump spots out again. Gets away. Whew, risky, but they're chasing him down. Brock tries to fill in on the space. Spam coming through the most uncomfortable position, and eventually the spam connects.
And at the same time, Mako from the shadows into the back line now. DRX surrounding NRG on this A site. Some does well to shut him down.
The op, just off the mark, flashed up. But once again, DRX get the openers. They get the site. They get the space. Freeing's gonna catch Scuba too.
He saw him. What?
Oh no, what happened there? Freeing misplays that horribly. And now they're gonna rotate back onto B, and the defenses are gonna be there first.
Yeah, he expected Scuba to keep on walking forward now. All of a sudden, it's a bit of a mess. 30 seconds left onto the clock. Scuba still has a molly, and has the wall.
And Mata has an op and will have the line.
Oh!
There it is, the collapse! On to 2, Scuba gets the last. NRG gets a 3.
Mata playing with the crowd as well.
And they respond.
I mean, sure. Take every lucky break you can get. So I have no idea what just happened there in mid. That was wild. The start of this round was such a disaster too. Brock getting spammed away. Taste of his own medicine, but through Hyunmin's hand and into Flashback's chest, that collat wins the round for NRG.
Yes, man! Yes!
So maybe Mata is the spark after all. 9 and 6 still has the op in play, and DRX's attack side has slowed down. Not just in the rounds they're winning, but in the pace they're pushing. As Mata gets another opener.
First time ever, DRX's econ broken, but not in Hyunmin's hands.
No.
In and out, an assassin.
They're gonna push behind this though, and Sam's ready for it. Mako a bit too far up. Still a couple of rifles to play on the side of DRX.
The flash is brutal.
60 HP, but Sam swings, gets 3.
Spike down A.
31 HP. How in the world does he do this? I don't think he can. NRG gets a 4, and all of a sudden, yeah, they might have a shot at this thing.
Hey, take this next round, then I'll start believing it.
Sure.
At NRG, you can see a bit of the excitement on stage. I mean, even just Mata there after playing up with the crowd.
Enemy remaining.
Feeling the hype, going for the early peek down into mid.
스파이크가 A 지점에 떨어졌습니다.
That has been severely lacking so far today.
The heavy double dive, full send onto site, dump everything, and overwhelm the defense of NRG has stopped. It's not even, it seems to me like it's not even like they're still trying to do it and NRG have been able to navigate around it and find a way to beat the good against good. It seems like, to me, DRX's approach has changed.
Yeah, they've started to add some more layers. You saw that in the round prior to this one where they tried to go for that A split and the lurk was just a bit of a disaster. They call out of it. So I think they're trying to not be so predictable for NRG where rifles, it's only Flashback that's vulnerable.
Note here, the 3 ults on the side of the attack too. There's Mata with that outlaw. Looking for a challenge, will not find one early on. And now look at the adjustment from the side of NRG. No longer dropping that aggro B main smoke.
It's an A instead, right? That one going onto that side. I don't know how to draw. But ultimately, I think what DRX have spoken about in the timeouts, they're inclined to believe that NRG are filling into some of the space, taking forward space in main, so they were holding for a mid-walk, seeing if Mata was going to go all the way through that. Now they can regroup, test into B, where they've seen so much attention early, but that's, again, an early KO knife that doesn't give good information, and now eats up all their stall.
Ethan's using it right off respawn. Right off timings. Scuba has tucked. And and he was a menace from this exact position for NRG in their previous series. Tucked behind the wall, he's gonna get another one, isn't he? Finds flashback, trigger discipline, but no. Fires a little bit too early. He gets one, but DRX take the site.
30 seconds left.
It's a little bit delayed, a little bit of hesitation, but the outcome's the same.
Welcome to my world.
Scuba's going to spend a long time thinking about that round. Had a chance to be the dagger in the back of DRX, but now that responsibility moves to Mata and Brock. Weaponry just isn't really there. Mata's looking at a full HP Bane and main.
He's got to take this line to maybe get a gun upgraded, but Bane is there waiting, as you mentioned.
There's just no way.
No, Brock 1v3, he's got the Odin. He'll get one. Dropping into the pit, forced to take the fight. And it's just not when you're going to win there.
And that's wild, too, because I think Scuba's having an incredible tournament. Like, even in the tough halves that NRG played in their opening series, even in the loss in that first map, Scuba's been pretty lights out. But he missed his chance to get the first kill. Amazingly, still turns around and gets one guy before being taken down. But he was being asked for a whole lot more in a position like that. He just couldn't deliver in the heat of the moment.
And it was, again, off of the unyielding, fully send out onto site for DRX. And so they go back to their tried and true, and it nets them another round win.
Yeah, we're going to close out this half with another Yoru ult. I believe that's 3 now.
And it's going to be another B hit, I think. I mean, they're gathering up. Scuba's jump spotting, but that's danger because you've got Waylay who's going to double dive onto you. And then what? But he takes a step back, pushes off the line. Ethan has joined, does not have knife.
Yep. NRG eat up some of the gas, and it's time to go into this site. No info on Scuba.
Yeah. Flashback only spotting one. Ethan now 2, TP's out. And it's Mako who fills in, but they're stalling out onto the site. The Parano's going to buy a little bit of time. Once again, Scuba can play spoiler. Once again, Scuba can deliver, and he does. 2 found. Onto the third, but of course.
And now Mata's here on the flank.
He's got the op in hand. Slowly swinging out onto the site. Trying to get the spike down. He spotted him, but is he going to land the shot? Patience with it right on the mark. And it's going to be women in a 1v2. He's going to be able to get his ones as well, isn't he? The Brock. Odin on the other side, and it's Mata that closes it out. NRG salvage 5 on a half that felt like they were lucky to get this far.
I mean, look, it's a breath of life at the end there for NRG, but every single round felt like it needed multiple things to go perfectly well. This game has delivered so far, but if we're going to see a map 3, NRG need to show up. We'll see you on the other side of this break.
30 seconds.
On the defense side of things, the approach has to change a little bit. As we saw back on Haven with the double duelists, they were fighting forward a lot. Fighting down multiple lanes at the same time, but also being so quick on the retakes, flooding into sight, denying the plant from going down. See what they have in store for us here this time around.
All right, with flash up high, the wall will go through. Two members of the defense here. Flashback not far off. There's a double dash from Mata out onto the site. They've gotten the space, but now what?
The fight forward into elbow. That's the idea for NRG.
Oh, they're scaling with the spike. They're not even concerned about getting it down. They want to take this fight all the way up. And Freeing jumps down from heaven, gets the best of Mata. But Scuba and Brock are there to wait and greet with open arms.
Last player
What a chaotic pistol. And as the dust settles, Bane is left in a 1v4, trying to spam through the smoke, trying to get a free one. Will not be allotted, at least not yet.
find you.
Such a wild approach.
So clever. Look, the thing is, NRG know that DRX are going to love to fast flood back into the site, rotate through mid. So what do? They fight elbow, claim heaven control for themselves, and then pinch back down onto the site. It's like they were the ones that were actually playing defense.
Sure.
And DRX were running a B split on them. It was really cool. Even though Mata dropped early on into that
Scuba's
play,
hiding from
I don't
behind.
think DRX had
Scuba's
any
hiding
clue
from
how to
him.
react.
All smiles as NRG win their first pistol of the series.
They can do it.
I mean, it desperately needed one too. And it looks like they're back to picking on B main.
Pretty reserved buy for them as well. They want to give DRX a bit of taste of their own medicine too, with nice pathing, diving up onto the box. I don't know about that one, Mata.
Unfortunate timing there, but manages to stay alive. There's the swing onto Bane. Bullet between his eyes, and all of a sudden the defense gets a little bit lighter, a little bit weaker. Wow. You want to get out of this as cleanly as you can. That's one Guardian down. All you've got left is the Vandal. They cannot afford this. The disaster that this would be. They've got to find a way to convert here. And DRX are ripping this out of their hands. Mako gets 3. Brock left in a 1v2. Whispers of nightmare creep over their shoulder as DRX snatches it away.
I don't know if they're still going to be smiling, Doug. It looks awfully quiet down on that stage. At least in the NRG camp. And this is again that same idea, fighting up into heaven, this time teleporting in there. From Psalm.
적군이 한 명 남았습니다.
That one gets away from them, and the brutal thing is you don't have time to think it over.
No.
You just gotta go next.
I mean, at least they can buy because they only bought 2 real rifles in
Sure.
the last round.
But the momentum, the pace setting, the tone of this half has already been set.
NRG have to win this round, and the econ is shattered.
Pacey towards A Paranoia to pave the way for Mata.
Yeah, just trying to get Mata up into link here. He actually has to dive away. Threat of the Prowler on his heel.
They're fully faking this B hit. A flash over the top of smoke through, but they're not biting. They still have mid control. DRX are still A.
Mako is still waiting by elbow. Right on the other side of this wall.
And Yunmin here. There's Mako. Sam gets the best of him. But there's still threat on the other side of this smoke. Yunmin creeping forward. Swings a bit aggressively. Ambitious, perhaps, and pays for it.
And that was a very signature NRG round. They are great at freezing after they've made a lot of space, especially onto the A site. See DRX a little bit uncomfortable. How to deal with that once NRG went quiet, although now Bane finding that opener, right back in things.
4v3, the spike is down. A couple of members on the side of NRG are
This
weak.
mid-fight.
Goes the way of DRX, and all of a sudden becomes a bit more problematic. Again, look at the health bars on the side of NRG. Time is so short, though, and I think they're calling the save.
remaining.
Yeah, Fring's not trying to play the round. I mean, credit to NRG there. Being able to find their way onto the A site. You think about things, because they had lost the previous round. If they lose this one, that's only 2 losses in a row. It's a very different situation than if they'd lost the pistol as well, they'd be maxed out on the loss bonus. No, instead, NRG would have had absolutely nothing. This was a critical one for them.
money would have been a disaster.
Yep. And there's going to continue to be many of these critical rounds as we move forward here. Those rounds
that can
that'll
go wrong is gonna go wrong today. Everything that can go wrong will.
and it sort of has been so far.
See the buy for DRX. It's not great. 2 rifles. Pace out of A, though. This is a cheeky little setup, and they're rewarded for it. Scuba gets caught asleep at the wheel.
That's what our NRG do. Force up into mid, but this hold from Flashback is perfect.
Beautiful off angle. Remember, this buy was not great. Remember, they only had 2 rifles. They've already gotten 2 picks, and Flashback's getting another. And so once again, the Thrifty from a couple of rounds ago rears its ugly head. NRG are trying to push their way back out onto the site, but it's another nightmare. It's a flawless round as DRX punch back.
Those words you just heard from Scuba have a little bit extra weight behind them after a round like that. He said that after a win, but he's feeling it after a loss. Didn't even have a chance in that round. Caught out by the Saturate, trying to jump away. There's no way you're escaping from Yunman.
And so Murphy continues to be a problem for NRG.
Wow. They continue to try and force round after round down to nothing. 2 stingers in the inventory.
Flash over the top, Paranoia. NRG looking to give him a bit of their own medicine. An aggressive hit towards A, but they stall out and Sam gets caught. Sticks to TP and overstays his welcome. And they haven't gotten onto the site. The spike hits the ground. Traded back though, and they're in a position where they can recover it. They're in a position where they can play around it.
It's all going to come down to this flank from Freeing.
Yeah, DRX with the numbers advantage. And there's nothing really to check it. They have to face hold this if you're NRG, and they're not. And so they huddle up. They continue to push further and further into the site. Try to play around the advantages they have. But the gun barrel gives Scuba away. Freeing gets the pick. And now they're going to be able to pop the ult too. That's going to make this so much messier. Bane and Mako, the only 2 left out onto the site, swinging around a tap of the spike. Modern Brock repositioning, looking to take this fight somewhere else.
Side, so DRX are going to commit 3 players towards B early on into the round. This could be a situation where Flashback just pops the Aura ult into mid-round for information. Very likely. Especially if NRG keep winding down the clock.
Here.
Dog clearing out B main early on. You see Freeing taking some of that space. Saw him just far off that line. They're going to rotate back into this. Again, Freeing has taken this line, but he is alone. There's not a lot of help here. Meanwhile, the ult is popped mid. Freeing realizing he's in a position to make a play. Gets his one. That's all it is. And now it's on Bane who's going to be challenged. Flashback has joined. Sam TPing forward right into his death. As Bane's there to meet him. Gets another. Not able to connect onto the third. And there is the outlaw. Flashback connects. Brock in the face of 3, cannot convert. DRX get to double digits.
DRX seem to have all the answers, and Flashback in particular. They've clued in on this idea that NRG are just forcing round after round so often on those light armors. So what better than the outlaw? What better than Bane from that position? I mean, that was just class.
Yeah, well, I mean, also fully Flash getting the kill, like. Sometimes you play Valorant, sometimes Valorant plays you, man. I don't know.
Not much you can ask for in that spot.
And so a timeout called from NRG.
your ults off in the first half of the road. NRG have honed in on.
One enemy.
But even though I don't want to say it, we do need to now look forward to round 3.
Yeah. I mean, it's been such a pivotal chapter of every story we've seen so far.
NRG have yet to shut down these bonus rounds. DRX are 100% on the bonuses they've had in this series, 4 for 4.
It is just Brock on the site. He does have a ton of utility around him, but it is just Brock. And so he takes a step back, buys enough time for the defenses of NRG to rotate over.
Quick Flood is the name of the game. A little trap here with the C's as well.
The nade on the other
Youngman
side.
still gets 2.
Balls.
I mean, he was seized.
Ethan up in heaven. Cannot respond, cannot punch back, and stop me if you've heard this one before, but DRX are going to win the bonus.
It's not as if NRG don't have ideas. There's a C's going down. They've got Util connecting. Youngman is decayed.